like the girls' rooms are very, pushed back, but then I've pulled those colours out. So, it's like, I could imagine I could never write a book, but I imagine that's what it would be like. That you've got all these elements, it's where you expand and you retract on information.
I like that. So you had the idea of the white out, inside and out.
Well, actually started off, I really wanted a black house.
Right.
And it was always black.
A black barn.
Black barn, yeah. And it came again from this sort of exposure to Japanese design, and we really wanted the black.
Oh, so shugi.
So shugi.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine was wanting to use it in Tekapo, and so we together sort of tried to nut it out for here. And the council, they came back with two things wrong with the plans, and one was the colour of the house. We were allowed beige, white or black. Beige, grey or white.
Oh.
And they wanted a garden design. So I was like, okay. So I had to switch, and, it has been, because I go, okay, that's fine, I can switch.
Yes.
And, and then your brain, it's that restraints again. So you go, okay, I'll put that restraint on and I'll work in with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then I'll see a house, because my brain's now not thinking of red cars, I'm now thinking of blue cars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you start seeing blue cars. And so you start seeing white architecture, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And
had you already realised the idea of white inside at that point, or not?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
No, definitely. Because, I do love my colour against white.
Yeah, because you, with an existing collection of furniture and objects, you need that.
Yeah. But then, then I went to my roofing company and went, right, show me your whites. And he was like, here's white and here's super white. White was cream and super white was grey. And I'm like, oh shit. Because I was like, I just want white.
Yeah.
So, the battle of the whites started.
Yeah.
And as you can, like whites.
So what did you use on the exterior?
So it's an aluminium sheet cladding.
Yes.
Tray cladding.
Yeah.
And it's so really good for this environment. And we had to go for the grey. So what I did then was go, right, how do I make a grey roof seem like a white house?
Yeah.
And that was then going down the track of painting like the fins and, and the all the fascias and, all those kind of bits that go around the cladding.
Yeah.
So, that was...
So they are all in a white.
Yeah, they're in a white.
Yeah.
And
what have you used on those?
So we've used, Dulux, so Tui Tuft, so Dulux matched Tui Tuft. So Tui Tuft is a colour steel colour.
Yeah. And
Dulux matched, so we did Dulux all on the outside and Resine on the inside. I like to not commit now. But it was, I wanted to kind of stagger the whites.
Yeah.
So inside it's Resine warm white.
Yes.
So I wanted...
warm or one?
One.
Yeah.
One. I always say
white. Just so I have the name right.
Wan?
Maybe
Someone
Wan.
calls it Wan white.
Wan white?
I know. They're like, oh, Wan white. But I wanted to stagger the whites so that it felt right.
Yeah.
And, only I would care about that, but... Actually,
no, I mean, it's the hardest thing to get right, isn't it? White.
Yeah, get right with the white. But it's made a difference, I think, because it feels like there's a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white story.
Because when you were looking, so outside you've got the colour steel and then painted in the Dulux.
Well, colour steel is not the roofing, but we've used the colour steel colour, Tui white, which then Dulux makes up in a paint. So like our...
What is the cladding material?
It's an aluminium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So architectural roofing do it. And it's same people who did, like the bus stop in town. Mm-hmm. So they make the trays and then they make all the fixings, you know, whether it's guttering or whatever.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing, really.
And then what is the
So all the block work, that's
all the
painted,
block work.
that's all Tui Tuft.
Yes.
And then, yeah.
And then so the exterior palette came together through that steel, aluminium.
Yeah.
And the fins, what are they made out of?
So they're all steel.
Yeah.
No, sorry, they are aluminium.
Yes.
So those are all hollow.
Yeah.
And so little things like we needed a guttering to come off this side of the roof.
Sure. So
we
in
put
that
it,
end one.
no, so we put it through one of the middle ones.
Cool.
So you don't actually see it. So, like, in the plan, the gutter was supposed to go on the front side of the house.
Yeah, and you're like, no.
I'm like, no, that's like my favourite corner. So, you know, it's things like
yes,
that.
So all of that's hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, guys, usually you would put it on the outside of a house,
Yeah.
but can we think a little bit differently here
Yes.
and actually put it...
I love that that's happening more and more now. It makes so much difference to those when you're really wanting a sharp, crisp edge to something.
Yeah. So, you know, I was probably really annoying, but actually I think Adam, our builder, really appreciated it because he felt... Because he sort of has that mind as well, but usually it's just do what you're told.
Yeah.
So
or
he had
do what's the least path of least resistance.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and I think, well, I'd like to think that he quite enjoyed that process because he would quite often say, you know, do you think we could change this? Which was, I was like, yay, you know, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's the builder man. Yeah.
And then, so once you're inside, the walls are wan white.
Yeah.
White. And then and then under floor.
Yeah. Cork.
Cork.
Yeah.
And so did you stain it, paint it?
No.
Does it come in like this?
So they provide it in, they have either natural or black.
Yeah.
And I really love black floors.
Yeah.
So handy with white dogs. I have to vacuum every day, but that's all right. But I really loved, you know, it's kind of, you know, there's a lot of elements in here which I love cork because it reminds me of growing up, you know. I don't know, and I liked the, you know, that it's pretty eco-friendly and that it's, you know, it's got good qualities, soundproofing, antibacterial, you know, like all these sort of things. So so they, like, this is, what am I trying to say? They had like about 6 or 4 different
grades.
Or no,
the finishes.
Yeah. So it's but I really love it. I like it how it's quite dull. You choose your poly that goes on it, so you can have it quite shiny.
Yeah. And so cork flooring throughout, except in the bedroom.
Yeah, the girls wanted wooden floors.
Yes.
Fine. Yeah, I wanted, because it's obviously at the beach and there's lots of sand.
Yeah.
You know, limited carpet, but we did, you know, and so the carpet we did do then was custom.
Yes.
So I always had that idea in my mind that I wanted something quite customised for our space.
Yeah.
You know, when it's a kooky space, because it's not a square room, I emphasise that. And that's when, you know, we talked about maximising corners.
Yes. And who did you do the custom carpet with? Delana.
Yeah.
So you did a design that really is very custom to that room.
Yeah.
With an edging that traces around the shape of...
Yeah, absolutely. So, I looked at a drawing that I did when I first approached them and it's literally the same.
Yeah. So you've got, in your main palette, you've got black, white, charcoal.
No charcoal. Oh, well, I consider that black.
Yeah.
No charcoal.
So black, white.
Black, white, and then I've got this, the apple blossom.
Yes.
Which I don't really know if it's pink. You know,
Lipstick.
It's not orange.
No.
It's not terracotta. Maybe it's a pinky terracotta. I don't know. But anyway, black, white, terracotta. We've got 2 pinks, a dark pink and a baby pink.
Yeah.
The Japanese blue.
Yes.
And then we've got the 3 greens. So the really foresty green in our bathroom. Then the mid green and then the light green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the mid green?
The kitchen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
and then
so
the light green.
Yes, it's the
that one.
sagey.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I've forgotten.
Oh,
I was forgetting that was a different...
So kelp.
Oh, yes.
And then we've got this mid green.
Oh yeah, so what are these